Hello everyone, I'm Melissa Dudan. Thank you so much for joining us on Trending Vegas. There is so much going on in our world, so we have a lot of topics to get to today. I'm joined by a portion of the city's social media team, including Jennifer Davies and Diana Paul. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
It's been a busy few weeks, especially for the communications office.
Yes, it has.
Are y'all holding up okay?
Trying, yeah.
It's a daily struggle sometimes. We've gotten a lot of questions and comments that we're trying to get back to people and be responsive.
Right, so just remember patience for everything. We're dealing with the coronavirus pandemic, the aftermath, also what's going on in the streets with the civil unrest. So just take that into consideration when dealing with the city. All right, well, we're going to start with the most pressing issue, and that is Black Lives Matter. So much movement and conversation has come up as a result of the death of George Floyd, who was killed when he was pinned down by an officer for nearly 9 minutes. Most everyone has been outraged by this and are speaking up and showing up more than ever. Here's a few posts from social media. First, we have this one from Mark Wahlberg. The murder of George Floyd is heartbreaking. We must all work together to fix this problem. I'm praying for all of us. God bless. And then we have a lot of pictures, memorials that have gone up, murals that have gone up. Rest in peace. That's from the Minnesota Twins. This one broke my heart. This is George Floyd with his mama. That's a popular picture that's been circulating all over the news. Here's this one from NBC News, a memorial at the site of where George Floyd was pinned to the ground by police in Minneapolis. A prayer vigil will be held here at noon. And then here's some local stuff from our protests here in town. This one happened in downtown Las Vegas. You can actually see the D behind them. Thousands of protesters showed up to show their solidarity with the Black community. And then we have different takes on what the protest turned into. Here's this take. After hours of peaceful walking, they boxed us in and fired ridiculous amounts of tear gas and rubber bullets. They left no exits, leaving huge groups of people with no other option than to trample each other to get through the empty lots. And then we have this one from Mayor Pro Tem. I'm going to church to pray with others for our nation's healing. The nation is mourning over Mr. Floyd. Many are peacefully protesting and some are paid agitators. Below one of our own vehicles, however, this is not how you honor Mr. Floyd. God bless Mr. Floyd's family and our nation. And finally, a different take. Riots gave women the right to vote. Don't hate the player, change the game. Listen to the purpose of the riots and then heal the root cause. Black people just want a chance to equal and contribute abundantly to the fabric of this nation. Let's give them that. So a lot of back and forth. I know here at City Hall, we had some protests. Thankfully, they were peaceful outside of City Hall. What has it been like? What are some of the concerns you guys are seeing on social media?
I think it's been a really difficult time. I think in a lot of cases, the city is really the messenger for a lot of things that are going on. And, you know, our elected officials make the laws and have the ability to enact ordinances to impact different areas of the community. And so I think it's difficult from the city's perspective because we can't create change on our own. It takes the elected officials and everyone working together to see that.
Absolutely, Diana.
I think a lot of people come to our social media channels because they just want someone to listen. I was covering social one day when we were getting a lot of responses. People just want someone to reach out to. And again, you know, for Jen and I and the rest of our team, we don't make the decisions, you know. We are tagged as the city of Las Vegas, but I feel their pain. I want to be able to give them some kind of response, even if it's just we hear you, we understand your frustration. There's not much else we can say, but sometimes I think they just want someone to listen, to know that someone's on the other end listening to what they're saying.
But I think it's really encouraging from a civic engagement perspective. I think people are listening and learning more than ever, and I hope that this has a really positive impact across a variety of issues in the future.
I mean, and look at this crowd. This was a protest in Los Angeles. Look how many people showed up. And of course, during the protest, everyone shouting, no justice, no peace. It could have been me. This has got to change. And it goes on and on and on. One of the things that I really, you know, with this Black Death, I feel it's tragic. It is horrible. I feel like people are truly listening this time around. I feel that there's been a shift. There's been a turn. And hopefully we will go in the positive direction for Black Lives Matter. It's amazing to me how many people have showed up. This is an election year. It's really interesting to see how many people have come together. One of the things that I know, you know, as a television host or with the City of Communications, we have to be careful, you know, what we say, how we post. But one of the things that I did during this time is I talked to my friends, to my Black friends, and said, you know, what am I not understanding? Am I doing something wrong? And the one thing that my friend told me, and she said, Melissa, a lot of people say Black lives matter, but police lives matter too, and all lives matter. And I said, okay. She goes, the Black Lives Matter is the only movement where people say Black lives matter, but so do cop lives. And she's like, you don't say breast cancer awareness matters, but so does colon cancer, or you just leave it as is. And I am guilty of doing that because I, believe in Black Lives Matter, and I support our police officers, and I support the Hispanic community, and the list goes on and on. But I think that we all have this shift that we have to, well, not all of us, but sometimes we have to sit back and look at ourselves, and we think we're not doing anything wrong, but sometimes our verbiage comes out that shows that we're not understanding necessarily
right.
what
or we're not
saying.
as educated as we could be. I think I saw a really good graphic that was going around on social that said, we mostly learned what racism looked like, not what it looks like today.
Right.
And understanding the implications of how racism is seen through systemic approaches like our judicial system and whatever. And so I think it's having those open conversations to learn and listen and try to work together to come up with ways that we can be better in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you are seeing on social some people are going at each other because one feels one way and one feels the other. So social gives you that ability to have that dialogue, but we're seeing it on the city channels as well. You say one thing and you're in trouble, or you say the opposite. There's just a lot of people that really feel strongly on both sides. So I think listening to each other.
And it's just hard on
educating is
social.
important,
People just go after each other in a way that they would not in person. And so I think you have to really be careful. I think you have to always present yourself on social in a constructive manner and approach it from a position of wanting to learn and listen and understand, because you never know when those comments are going to come back to bite you. You just don't. I mean, it could be now, it could be later. Present yourself on social media like someone is always watching, because you never know when your comments could be taken out of turn or could harm you in the future. So use social for good. Try to evolve your opinion and speak to other people and engage in healthy dialogue, but do it respectfully.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I think we've learned as we started Trending Vegas. Man, years ago we started this show. When people take to Twitter or take to social media, they're know-it-alls. They know it all. They stand their belief. And what I would like to see, and I feel like I have seen more of this time around, is people saying, I don't know. I don't know enough. Apparently, I thought I did, but I don't. And I think that we as a nation might seriously see some change, and that would be a
Definitely.
great thing.
I think a lot of people, it makes you feel stupid if you feel one way and then you change your mind later. It makes you seem wishy-washy. But I think we all have to respect that we're living in a different time, and that getting new information and evolving your opinion is just that. It's an evolution. It's not that you're stupid or that you were, not being truthful before. So I think we have to change the way that we see that, because when you get new information, evolving your opinion, I mean, that's good. That's what we should do as human beings.
And there's a saying, I can't think of it right now, but when you stop learning, that's when you're in trouble. That's when things get out of hand. All right, guys. Well, next, some of the protests did turn violent. According to Metro Police, Officer Shay Michalonis was in front of the Circus trying to remove bottles and rocks from the crowd when he was shot. Now, at the time of this taping, he is still fighting for his life. Here's a look. Please keep Officer Shay Michalonis in your prayers. He's the 29-year-old Las Vegas Metro officer shot in the back of the head by the violent protesters last night. He is on life support. And that is actually, from arrest reports that I've read, inaccurate. The suspect was not part of the protest. He just happened to be in the area. But we have just more pictures. Update on Las Vegas Metro Police Officer Shay Michalonis is out of surgery. Removed most of the bullet, and MRI shows no brain damage. Staying on ventilator for now. Drugs are beginning to decrease. He's fighting for his life. The family wants this news to spread. Please pray. And of course, just lots of support for him. Pray for Shay. Signs going up. People showing up to pray outside of UMC. And then here's a picture of the suspect, 20-year-old Edgar Samaniego. From the arrest report I read, he was just in a nearby hotel and came outside to the commotion and for some reason allegedly opened fire. So that's the one thing that that did bother me, disturb me about protests. The fact that they turn violent. At the same time, there's a lot of back and forth. We're not going to give our opinions on it, obviously, but there's a lot of back and forth on social media whether or not protests need to turn violent in order to get people's attention, or if they remain peaceful, if people are just going to look the other way because it's not a big deal. Are you guys seeing that back and forth on social at all?
Definitely. I mean, I think it is an incredibly polarizing topic when people are trying to figure out what is the best way to get attention. And I think it's really difficult as a city government to be trying to listen, but understanding that there's two sides of thought, and trying to worry about keeping the city safe and protecting business owners, but also respecting everyone's First Amendment rights to get out there and share their opinions. So it's just been a really tricky time.
It's just so hard you see these businesses that have been shut down because of COVID-19, and they're starting to open the doors only to be vandalized. And it really is heartbreaking, and you sit back and go, how is this good for the community? How is this good for your message? That's the argument that goes back and forth a lot, Diana.
Yeah, and I think it was the first week of the protest. Jen and I covered 2 news conferences actually on the weekend with Metro, and there was people from the faith-based community. The mayor was there.
They have their citizen
Councilman
oversight
Creer,
committee,
and it was
as
just
well
to
as
come
their
together and say, we support your right to protest. That's fine. No one's actually saying that you shouldn't. You need to make your voice heard. But the plea is to be safe and to not cause violence, because then you're hurting the community. And I was pretty devastated to see, like you said, those businesses that were tagged, and now the city steps in. But I think our message has been, and the elected officials has been, we support your right. It's okay, but just be peaceful. Don't hurt the community. And that was the message the city shared, at least in the beginning.
And we've had a lot of big protests lately that have been peaceful. I mean,
Right.
we had a huge one at our park last weekend, very peaceful. There were no major incidents. And so we are encouraged by what we've been seeing, that people are taking to the streets and making sure that the cause is not forgotten and that it gets the attention that it deserves, but that it's still peaceful.
And it's fair to say that the protesters, the majority of them, are there doing what they need to do peacefully and are moving on. And sometimes it's the stragglers or the others who are staying behind and causing some problems. I do just, the whole situation is so tragic. The death of George Floyd, the shooting of Officer Shane Michelonis. So, prayers to everyone who has been affected. Make your voices heard, do it safely, and respect others. Okay, guys, we're going to move on to the final topic. We have to talk about our slow return back to normal as casinos and hotels have started opening up around the valley. It definitely does not look like it used to, but it's a start. Here's some of the things we're seeing on social media from the D when it reopened. All right, that's Derek Stevens up there. He did a countdown until the games went turned back on. Here's some more posts. Las Vegas reopens but won't return to full strength until 2023. That's according to analysts. I just love seeing the different masks and how everyone is coping. Las Vegas reopens with showgirls in sequined face masks. And then we have this one from the governor. This morning, I visited a few properties on the Las Vegas Strip to see how reopening of casinos is going. I'm so pleased to see lots of face coverings and sanitizer and social distancing. Of course, here's a look at a table. You can see some socially distanced, fewer chairs there as well. And this man's celebrating after winning a hand of blackjack. That is at the D also. Of course, there were a couple of these. Stupid, enjoy COVID-19 second wave. And I think that is a real fear. So have you guys ventured downtown? Have you guys ventured to a casino, anything like that?
No, I've been out, into the neighborhoods or into the more local area. Things look different. I mean, I feel personally more comfortable because there are social distancing. The businesses are leaving 50% occupancy. So I wear my mask, I follow the guidelines. But things are different. I was telling my young daughter that it's not going to be the same. And so I know the city was really excited to welcome people back to our city, get people back to work, but we want to do it safely. That's the most important thing.
Jen?
Yeah, I mean, I have not ventured into anywhere yet. I think I'm more in the wait and see camp.
Yeah.
Personally, I mean, just to see how things shake out. But I think that it's encouraging that businesses are finding ways to comply with the guidelines and still be open.
Now maybe you guys can help me understand there's metal detectors on Fremont Street experiences. Is that for people not to come in with backpacks, or what are those metal detectors for?
I'm
Do
not
we
aware
know?
of there being metal detectors there. So
Okay, I saw a picture, so we'll have to see if that is...
They did have everything gated off. They were trying to figure out how to safely reopen and do social distancing. So for a little while, I think they were requiring that you be, affiliated with one of the hotels and things like that. So I think they're still trying to figure out how to have social distancing in the pedestrian walkway in there because it's usually so busy.
I mean, they do, the street performers have to wear masks. They're not allowed to touch anybody. Even for pictures, you have to maintain 6 feet, or they're trying to do 7 feet of separation over there. It's going to be hard to adhere to the rules because people get excited. People maybe have a little bit too much alcohol in their system, and you tend to forget. I noticed that I have stopped reaching for people's hands to shake, which good on me, but at the same time, I went to a party the other day, a little birthday party, a small gathering, and I wanted to hug everybody because that is my nature, to hug. And you can't really, but you can, and some people are okay with it and some people aren't. One of the things I wanted to talk about is take a look at, this is South Point Casino. It's back open again. You can see there's a lot of people in there. Were you guys surprised to see so many people venture out so quickly?
I definitely was. I mean, I think people are falling into entirely different camps on COVID as well in terms of how serious they think the risk is. And so I was definitely surprised, but I mean, it's good for Las Vegas that people want to be here, and I think there is a lot of pent-up demand.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I wasn't that surprised because I just feel like people have been waiting. They've been waiting, and even on social, people are tagging us saying, can't wait to book my trip. So they're different camps, but I was really pleasantly surprised to see. But I think it's great. People, if they can safely come back, then that's ideal, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's great for our economy. But I am more in the let's wait and see. I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen with school and how that's going to go down. Sure. But, it is good to see. I'm really happy for so many people who have gotten their jobs back, who are back to work, employers who are able to bring on new people and start opening slowly. So good luck to everybody. Thank you, ladies, for being here.
Sure.
All right, guys, downtown businesses are still trying to get back to normal as the crowds start to roll in, but there's a resource available to them that can help. When I come back, I'm sitting down with the Downtown Las Vegas Alliance to tell us how they're helping. We'll be right back.
I dare you. I dare you to change the world. Yeah, you. Getting that college education.
I dare you to be somebody important.
Like be a teacher or a reality TV star.
I dare you to stand up here.
To call the shots.
To be a role model.
An inspiration.
An innovator.
To be a teacher.
Think you can change my life?
Make me excited about science like you.
Have a career that really means something?
Then do it.
I dare you.
You're doing great. We're gonna try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, button the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep
pedaling. Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, you ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Welcome back, everyone. It has been a difficult road for downtown businesses. Not only did the coronavirus pandemic hit them hard, but then there were some hit with vandalism in recent weeks. A lot of businesses are looking for advice or programs to get them through their financial hardship, and that's where the Downtown Vegas Alliance comes in. I'm joined by their executive director, Carolyn Wheeler. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me, Melissa. I appreciate it.
So what has it been like for you all working with businesses since the directive from the governor to shut down back in March? What are some of the questions you guys are getting, and how are you all helping?
So the Downtown Vegas Alliance has really been working very hard with our members to make sure that we're giving them the most up-to-date, relevant information. As I'm sure you know, at the very beginning of this pandemic, information was coming on a daily basis, sometimes at a mile a minute, in an hourly basis. And so, what we do is we're a membership-driven organization that's committed to really creating a thriving downtown business environment through thought leadership and collaboration. And so what we have been doing was pooling our resources of our members' expertise to share that with the community. So we've been doing a variety of webinars, how to keep your business safe, featuring one of our members, Protective Force International, how to do curbside retail with rebar, really how can you be creative? What are the resources you need to keep you not only in business, but connected with your customers. So we did a great webinar on social media with our partner Faz Foley Warren. And so it's really been for us making sure that our businesses and all of the businesses in downtown have all of the information they need about stimulus programs, funding, and then again, communicating with their customers to make sure that everybody feels safe and comfortable when it's time to come back.
You touched on it just a little while ago. What is your core purpose? Do you guys just want the same vision for downtown and make sure you're all on the same path, or what exactly is the core purpose?
Well, the purpose is really to bring up the downtown community. Downtown Las Vegas, we've got a lot of really strong large businesses down here. We've got some great gaming properties. We've got some very large corporations here, but we also have a lot of really unique and creative entrepreneurs. And so what we're trying to do is take the resources that each business brings and bring them together so that as a whole, we can create a strong community and a great place to do business. We have people who come from the arts and culture side. We have people who are involved in technology. It's really about how do we create a thriving culture here downtown that not only helps businesses, but then helps the community as a whole.
Absolutely. Like you said, information when this first happened, the coronavirus pandemic, information was changing all the time. People were going, where do I get help? How do I keep my business stores open? Permits, licensing, XYZ. What were some of the biggest things you heard from, I guess, your members? And what was that like for you guys trying to also get resources to these businesses quickly?
So I think a lot of the businesses, when the order came from the governor to close if you were non-essential, it kind of took them aback a little bit. How do I continue doing what I'm doing? How do I keep my employees engaged? How do I keep them on my payroll? How do I keep my customers engaged? We provide a service to customers. How do we keep them in the fold? We were so fortunate to partner with the city on a couple of different programs. The first one being the Business Protection Program, where businesses were able to get up to $2,000 to protect their business if they were to board up, by also including some artwork. And so, we did a lot around that and really did a lot of communication around that. We've also been working with the city on the Business Reopening Grant, where they have been offering up to $4,000 to businesses in the downtown area and in the city to pay for any items they might need to reopen as a result of the virus. So whether it is personal protection equipment, sanitizers, fogging machines, you name it. So we've been doing a lot of that. We've also partnered with a PPE company to provide bulk discounting for our members.
Wow.
So we've been really very, very busy. And again, part of it is just staying in tune with our customers and reaching out to them and saying, how are you doing? What do you need? And again, here are resources. Here's information about the Small Business Administration financing programs, the loans, the EIDL loans, the Paycheck Protection programs.
And I think
how do we do that?
And I think that is a lot because there was a lot coming out. You have stimulus checks, you have payment protection, you have layoff aversion programs. I mean, you have so many different things that unless you know exactly where to go, you can get lost in the shuffle. But it sounds like the Downtown Vegas Alliance is a one-stop shop where they can go and say, what is out there for me that I need?
Yes, and in fact, we've created a COVID-19 page on our website dedicated for all the resources that we've compiled together. So information about, again, the stimulus programs. We have one of our partners, Brownstein Hyatt Farber Schreck, has given us a ton of policy updates, which we've been sending out because, again, information changes daily. All of the webinars that we've been doing are on that page. We've also created some really great resources for our businesses, not just to help keep their employees safe, but also for them to connect with their consumers and their customers to let them know that they are a safe place to come and do business. And so to build up that confidence. So we created a little infographic to post on your window that you are taking the steps to protect your employees and to protect the customers, like social distancing and hand washing and sanitizing.
And I'm assuming there's a lot of questions around that from businesses saying, okay, what are the rules now from the health department or
Yes.
XYZ?
Yes.
What do I have to do inside? What capacity can I be at? And it's nice to know that they have a resource that they can reach out to. And you, if you don't have those answers, I'm assuming you would point them in the right direction.
Right, and we've worked with this Southern Nevada Health District. They also did a webinar. We are the webinar resource.
Well,
we found
you
it.
have to be the webinar resource right now, to
Right,
be
because we
successful.
can't do those in-person
Right.
convenings. But we worked with them on putting a webinar together on how to properly train your employees on how to use that personal protective equipment, how to sanitize, what are the right tools to use, what are the right places you should be, what are those high-touch spaces you should be sanitizing. So again, all of that is on our website. The health district, the CDC, OSHA, they all have a variety of information, and we've done a really good job at compiling it and again putting it in one spot for everybody to be able to access.
Now, you guys are just downtown, or you guys include other businesses throughout city limits or anything? Clark County?
We focus on the downtown community. We do have some members that are not necessarily located in downtown, but they have a vested interest in downtown. Southwest Gas, for example, Cox Communications, for example, they are working with businesses that are here downtown. But yeah, that's what differentiates us is, again, we are very committed to the heart of our city.
Okay, so where can people go if they want to become members or if they just want more information?
So they can always email me. My email is dva@downtown.vegas. And again, they can go to the website, which is downtown.vegas. And there's a link on there about how to become a member. And that's also the same page where our COVID resources are.
Now, before I let you go, we talked a little bit about COVID, but the civil unrest that we've seen, the protests, some of the vandalism we've seen in downtown, could you be utilized for a resource like that for businesses who are maybe vandalized during this time?
Well, we're always here to support businesses with any concern and any issue that they have. That's one of the benefits that the Downtown Vegas Alliance brings, is we're really connected to the stakeholders that are here in the community. We certainly support the right to have your voice heard. We know that there is a overall systemic issue that not only Las Vegas is dealing with, but
Right.
the whole nation is dealing with. And our hearts go out to all of the people who have dealt with some social injustice.
Right.
But we also really also have our hearts out to all the business owners. They just opened their
Right.
businesses. We were just getting to that point. And there were many, many peaceful protesters there, again, sharing their voice. And there were some people there that were there
create
for
trouble.
other reasons.
Right.
And those are the ones that went out and vandalized the businesses. It wasn't necessarily the peaceful
Right, absolutely.
protesters. And so, we're here as a voice. We're here to listen to people. And if they want to reach out to us again, email me at dva@downtown.vegas.
Carolyn, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Melissa. I appreciate it.
All right, well, thank you for watching at home. Remember, you can get in on the conversation. Just follow us at City of Las Vegas and use the hashtag TrendingVegas. You can also find us on YouTube, Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you next time.